I often talk about how if you don't like something, don't talk about it, right? You don't have to watch something, right? You can just go and not like talk about it. You don't have to complain about it. You don't have to like go, trying to seek attention or anything about it, right? Like a lot of times there's the whole stuff about recent movies and people complaining about them, and I'm like, you've never liked these movies anyway. Why are you complaining about them now? And that is still very, very true. Especially when you don't have any of the skin in the game, right? But when it comes to stuff like the MCU, and for me, I kind of feel like I have to talk about it because I'm a huge comics fan. I grew up with comics. I They are a fundamental part of my childhood, and they've just, been there for a long time in my life. So whenever I heard, despite the fact I have no interest in the MCU whatsoever anymore, that Robert Downey Jr. is returning to play Doctor Doom in the MCU, I was like, oh wow, he's back. What the fuck? Like, that was my exact reaction whenever I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh, Robert Downey Jr., is he back for Iron Man or whatever? Okay, whatever. Doctor Doom, oh, he's back. What the fuck? Like, it took me a second to register. He's playing Doctor Doom. Let's get the biggest elephant in the room out of the way, right? Doctor Doom is not only one of the most iconic fictional characters of all time, he is the most iconic Marvel villain of all time, right next to Thanos. He was the number one guy forever until Thanos really made big waves in the MCU, making him one of the largest and biggest. But also the fact that this just really does bastardize everything with Doom, right? One, the actor is not Romani, and I feel like they're not even going to play into that at all, despite how every variant of Doom has had that culture a part of him. It's one of the reasons why he has the idea of science and magic, and the twist between those is because, depending on where you want, his mom was really, really deep into the culture of that. And also, remember, this is as far, if I remember correctly, and obviously there's a lot of, with stereotypes and so on, far, far back. But, like, she was very in tune with the occult, and that passed on to Doom as a part of that culture. Or at least her culture specifically. And then obviously, he's a scientist, and he was with Reed Richards. So after he becomes Doom, those two parts meld together. He is a magic user. He is not a strict tech user. His tech is high tech. It is almost fantasy. It is almost like entirely magic, but it's not magic. Oh my god, my glasses look like they're about to be crooked, but they're not. My camera's just weird. But he has both, right? His gauntlets shoot lasers, but they also conduct magic, right? That's technology and magic in one. Uh, and it was a really big meme a few years ago that Doctor Doom was going to be an ex-Stark employee, because all future MCU were ex-Stark employees. And part of me was like, I wonder if this could be good if they go about it being like a variant of Infamous Iron Man. But why call him Doctor Doom? Why have the green tunic and the mask and everything? Why cast Robert Downey Jr., a man who constantly has his fucking mask off, as a character who is iconic in not taking his fucking mask off? It does not make any sense. And I do not want to see fucking Doctor Doom's armor have an arc reactor and have his gauntlets be repulsors and everything like that. There's so so much wrong with it, right? And like Mads Mikkelsen would have been great as Doctor Doom, and there's been so many other choices. Also, so many like good Romani actor choices as well that helps play into that, because obviously whenever you cast a actor with the background of the act, I believe that you can play a culture if you treat it with respect and it's not appropriation or anything, and you're well learned and everything like that. Obviously 100% give the those of that background opportunities. 100%. Don't like just put another person in there as a stand-in, right? But in the case where that doesn't happen, then as long as you treat it with respect, I think that it can be okay. But I just don't feel that the MCU is going to do it at all. They stripped it from Wanda. They stripped it from Pietro. They also took away the fact that I'm scared that they're not even going to make fucking Ben Grimm Jewish, despite the fact that he is famously Jewish. He was Jack Kirby's one of his favorite characters was because of how proudly Jewish he was, right? But make Sable a hero in the MCU, right? Make Saber, whatever the fuck the Zionist name is, right? Like make her the hero, right? Especially with everything going on in the world right now. It's wild. But yeah, I just don't see where this goes good at all. Like, I can't see a possibility where this isn't a complete fumble and where it just bombs at the box office. But of course it's going to do good, because everyone's like, who doesn't read comics is like, oh my god, oh my god, Judy's back, oh, like, oh my god. Can we start enjoying stuff for the story instead of being like, like the consumer fucking meme? Right? It's so disappointing. It is so disappointing. Because I was really excited to see Fantastic Four and see what they do with Doom. And also now, apparently, the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four are going to be in Doomsday, the new movie, which, by the way, is really funny, that you can clearly tell after everything with the Kang actor came out. They were like, okay, we just got to revert everything back to pre-Endgame. We had to bring back everyone. We got to fucking do something. We're fucked. We're fucked. This movie's gonna suck anyway, but we're fucked. We had to take a harsh left turn. Multiverse? Yeah, but what about mutants? Oh, you like Deadpool? But it doesn't move the movie forward. Pay attention. Ooh, jingle, jingle, jingle. Right? It's fucking nuts. Yeah. Also, apparently in in Doomsday, that the Thunderbolts and like of New Avengers and the Fantastic Four are all going to be in the same movie, despite the fact that the trailer that came out that was leaked shows that the Fantastic Four is like in the 60s or is in an alternate world, which leads me to believe that either they're in 616, but at the time, this was a long time ago, which is why, Strange made it the joke like, didn't you guys top in the 60s or whatever? And then by the end of the movie, they somehow launch forward to the future, and which then again makes a whole not load of sense with the explanation of time travel and Endgame. But you could technically say that maybe Loki, being the god of stories, holding everything together, like makes it fine or so on. But yeah, it's wild. I wonder how they're going to do that. That is literally the only movie from the MCU that I'm excited about, and Blade. I think that'd be cool, but all the other ones don't interest me in the slightest. I love the Fantastic Four. They were never my favorite. But I read Jonathan Hickman's run. I read recently. I read what was it? Um, it was the there's the Spider-Man story where it took place throughout like the 60s, 70s, the 80s, and 90s, and the 2010s. Um, and there was a Fantastic Four version of that, which didn't take place in the same universe, unfortunately, but I thought it was a really interesting story. Uh, but yeah, RDJ as Doctor Doom, even if he's Doctor Doom, like Victor Von Doom, and not a Tony Stark variant, I just cannot see this going good at all. I remember I saw someone be like, what if Peter sees him and he has to fight him? And I'm like, what, the guy that keeps his mask on all the time? Like, the only way the only way that they can possibly have a single good point from me in this movie or whenever Doctor Doom shows up is if they play MF Doom at some point in the movie. Or that is a generational fumble on their part, right? Like, MF Doom has his entire persona modeled after Doctor Doom, and you're not going to do anything? Come on. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I know I'm incredibly pessimistic, but come on. I can't not be with how everything's been going. I like Captain America a lot, right? But the way that like he's basically bastardized in the MCU, I am not talking about Sam Wilson. I'm not talking about Captain America, the current one. I'm talking about Steve Rogers Captain America. Well, both of them have been bastardized, but like they really don't fully get the idea of Captain America, right? I feel like if Steve Rogers was around today, they would end up just having him be a tool for the government, despite the whole fact of Steve Rogers. His whole idea is the fact that he critiques the government in the United States and everything like that. He is a critique of America and so on, because he represents the ideal that does not exist, and the ideal that the lie of America and so on was founded upon, being a person to try and make that a reality, right? That's why so often that the America is dropped from his name, because he represents a lot of people. He does not just represent America because he is human, but he also, like, the A can also stand for Avengers and so on. And why he's only referred to as Captain, because he is a leader, and he is also kind of like almost like a paragon, right? Which just so happens to be the lie of a paragon that America was built to be. And that's how Captain America has been forever. 60s, 70s. It only changed in like the 90s to 2000s with the Ultimates and everything and all of that. And then like Captain America in the MCU came out. It was only until really recently that a really good Captain America comic came out, which was I forget. I have the comic here. But it starts with him like washing the shield, and he's like talking about I think he talks about like jingoism and white picket fence and like the lie of the American dream and so on and the American reality. But yeah, he also the former what I was talking about, like he could be a paragon of like just humans in general, is not a thing of like American exceptionalism. It's just a kind of interpretation that you can have with Cap. And Steve Rogers, especially because he's a blonde-eyed, blue-eyed man that is a critique of like Aryan and Nazism, despite the fact that he grew up as Jewish, or was it Christian? I think it was Jewish. Well, Jack Kirby. So yeah, and so on and so forth. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you're excited, let me know why. If you have your own critique, leave it down there as well. My issue with the MCU has never been what other people complain about. People complain like, oh, it's gone woke. No, I hate it because it's bad storytelling. You hate it because of surface level shit. But yeah. Anyway, as always, I'll see you guys Oh, if you want to support me, I have stuff in the description. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.